Does everyone have their glasses? That's what I want to know, first of all. Sorry about the disheveled look. Comment your thoughts. Tell me how you guys are going. And we'll get started. There we go. The comments are coming through. Beautiful. Does everyone have a glass? Because I've got a glass and I've got some Shandon. I don't know how fancy this is. It's pretty good. Tried popping it at full time and it went everywhere. So I've lost half the bottle on the ground outside, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna pour a glass just here. Oop, that's a bad pour. This is to Brett Ratton and the St Kilda Football Club. Fuck yes. We are playing finals, everyone. How do we all feel? It is unreal. Absolutely unreal. First, take a sip of whatever drink's around. Think of the boys and think of how good it feels to know that the boys stood up when they needed to. They stood up when the heat was on. It's unbelievable. That is pretty good. Not as good as the win, but that's pretty good. So I'll take that. Let's just scroll to the bottom. It was honestly, guys, it's crazy to think that our best performance of the year, or close to it, was the most important. You know, that to me says everything about what Rats is building. You know, he put the pressure on the boys all week, internally, told them they need to stand up, there's nowhere to hide. We risked it with Hanbury, we brought him in, some people were a bit iffy about it, and he stood up. He was huge. Jack Sinclair was amazing. Jack Loney was amazing. You know, not only were the stars like Jack Steele huge in this game, Rowan Marshall, Max King did some great things. Not only were they big, Membry, Dougal Howard down back, but it was the lesser likes. You know, Dean Kent, who all week, you know, in the podcast I said did not deserve to play. And a lot of people agreed with me. When the team came out yesterday, they said, why is Dean Kent playing? You know, why is two possession Dean Kent playing? He did some very important things tonight. You know, he stood up when he needed to. That's the thing with our game plan. GWS had all the stats, they had all the handballs. I wouldn't be surprised to look at the stats and see them have 10 of the first 12 highest possession getters, but they did nothing with it. We were clever with our movement. We were precise. We were efficient. Brad Hill, I haven't even shared his name. He was enormous. This performance here, this finals-like performance from Brad Hill is the reason why we brought him to the football club. It makes sense as to why he was so poor earlier in the season, because it wasn't important. He's there to play in big games. He's played in premierships. He knew tonight he needed to stand up. He knew that he needed to lead the way and show his worth, and he did more than that. He did everything we could have asked for him. The whole team did. You know, the first quarter was a bit shaky. Second quarter was all right. GWS had their chances. They got a few more clearances that I would have liked. You know, Kelly was great. Taranto was great. Cornelia was great. Whitfield was getting a bit of the ball. But our defence was holding their forwards. It was making it ugly for them. And that's why they were missing all these shots, because we had the pressure on. We broke them down. Once that second quarter went by and we had that halftime break, we came out in that third and fourth term and we did not look back. You know, the issue when you're in a position like this is you risk playing too defensive because you're afraid to go for it, because you don't want to leave yourself open at the risk of the team scoring against you. And GWS are a very good scoring team. They're a very talented attacking team. But we didn't care. The second half we said, fuck you, we're playing finals, we're going to keep you back there and you're going to watch us dominate. And we just went for it. We went for the throat and more and killed them. We beat GWS by over 50 points. I mean, I don't know what the exact score was in the end, because I was too busy popping the champagne and celebrating the win and just soaking it all in. But we've beaten a team that played in a grand final last year by 10 goals, knowing that if they had have beaten us by the same margin, there was a big chance that they could have made finals and we would have missed entirely. So fuck the AFL. The AFL all week was talking up GWS. The commentators were talking them up, just constantly going on and on about how good they could be. And geez, you know, that handball was amazing, without any regard for how good we were. and we just broke them down in that last quarter. It was like a Port Adelaide performance from 6-7 weeks ago. We stood up when the game was on, when it was there to be just there to take. We fucking put both mitts on it, we gripped it, and we ran with it. And I could not be more proud of the boys. I could not be this happy. I was telling my girlfriend, the last time that we played finals, I think I was 18 years old. You know, I'm 27 now. People other supporters, Collingwood supporters, West Coast, Geelong, they'll look at me and look at Saints supporters in general and be like, geez, they're celebrating like they won the grand final. We haven't made finals since we basically made a grand final. So this is as big. This is huge. So we're going to soak this in. We're going to enjoy this. I think we have the week off next week. The only two teams that we can play in the first week of the finals. Anyone asking where the champagne is? It's right here in front of me, ready to go. So I'll just stop and take a sip. We play Collingwood or Bulldogs in the first week of the finals. So that's going to be a testing game. I don't care who we play, because if we play anything like we played tonight, we will win. And I love that we've gone into our first final series in a long time with momentum, guys. You know, it's great to make finals in general, but imagine just limping over the line. Imagine playing shit and you know, it's a draw and we get through on a draw and we're just like, oh, we didn't play well, but we made it. It doesn't feel the same, you know? Imagine losing, but then luckily getting in on percentage. Again, it doesn't work. Going in, dominating a team that's had the wood over you. People forget that. GWS have smashed us in recent times. This is not, you know, a team that had 20 injuries like West Coast last week. This is a team that was close to full strength, brought their captain in, had a tough week all week, and they had to come out breathing fire, and they did. They looked on. You know, they wanted to take the game on, but it favoured us, and we absorbed it. We took it all in. Our defence was great. Caulfield was great again. Geary, special mention to him. I thought he did some really nice things. Dean Kent, he wasn't in defence, but he was great in general. He could have played anyway. Who cares? Dougal Howard, Carlisle. You know, Carlisle's importance. He didn't have a lot of the ball, but he just settled the defence. He allowed other players to do what they do best. He allowed Caulfield to rebound, take intercept marks. It meant that Wilkie wasn't, you know, mismatched on at all. It was just perfect. And our midfield was just Paddy Ryder, Rowan Marshall did what they needed to do. You know, they just dominated Mumford. They early on they were dominating, but our mids weren't following. GWS were roving the rucks, roving our work. You know, they got more clearances from that. The second half, we negated that. We got the clearances. Look at the fourth quarter. The ball was in our forward half 89% of the time. You know, I can't remember a time that it went forward for GWS. It was that dominant. And I haven't seen us that switched on in a long time. And what better time to peak than now, guys? You know, honestly, what better time but now when you've made finals to know, well, geez, our best is pretty good and we can beat some good teams. Let's fucking go for it now. There's nothing to lose now. It's a pass mark as far as I'm concerned. It's a pass mark. We have done beyond what any Saints supporter could have expected in Brett Ratton's first season. I'll put my hand up and say that. I would have said finals would have been nice, but I would have been okay with top 10. But we've exceeded that. We're now 6th on the ladder. I don't think we can drop lower than 7th. You know, Collingwood win, they go up to 6th. We stay 7th, we play Collingwood. Bulldogs win, I think they go up to 6th and we stay 7th. So it doesn't matter. It means we avoid going to Perth for the first week of the finals. We don't go to West Coast and play them there. It means that we have a game either at Metricon or the Gabba against Collingwood, a team I think we can beat, and Bulldogs, a team that we've already beaten. So, fuck yes. You know, this is huge. This is such a big step in the right direction for our club. You know, it doesn't matter what happens from here on in, but, you know, we probably go close to being favourites in our first final in 9 years, and that is just amazing. You know, I'm so happy. I was standing there almost tearing up a little bit, guys. You know, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm so used to things not going our way. I'm so used to bad luck. You know, I was just having visions at 3/4 time, 29 points up, full time. GWS have a big comeback and win. I was like, no, this team is not going to let that happen. This team is going to get the job done, and it is going to grow some balls and take us to the finals. And they did that, and they did that more. You know, we doubled our margin pretty much in that last quarter. Hunter Clark was enormous. You know, some of the things that guy does with the football, you can't train. It is pure talent. It is just born-bred talent. you can say nice things about everyone. No one there deserves to be dropped next week, you know? No one there deserves to be dropped. And it's amazing to think that Zach Jones gets another week off. He gets a good length of time to recover from his hamstring, and he comes in. All of a sudden, we've got Hanbury, Zach Jones, Steele, Sinclair in form. Seb Ross was actually pretty good tonight. Jack Billings in form. Paddy Ryder, Rowan Marshall in form, all for our first final. We've timed it perfectly with potentially Luke Dunstan. I don't know if we risk going for Luke Dunstan in a first final when he hasn't played since round 1, but that's another part of the puzzle. More midfield depth that we haven't had this year. So everything's kind of aligning for us. You know, it's funny how, you know, last week was doom and gloom, and I was the number one culprit of that. You know, I was so upset. I thought this was our chance to make finals. We're gonna fuck it now, and if anything, we just grew with the pressure. We handled the pressure. And tonight was a finals-like performance. Not so much the result. I'm not saying it was a close game. We had to fight it out. But it was the pressure of it, knowing that a loss means the year is over. And now we've had the perfect practice for it. This was an elimination final, and we passed. We handled the pressure, and we went for it. Elimination final officially in 2 weeks against Collingwood or the Dogs. It's the same situation. It's an elimination final. We win, we go through, we lose, the season's done. We've had the perfect practice, and GWS are one of the more talented teams in the league on paper. They're just a shell of them. They're just not who they were last year. You know, I've lost my words there. But they're not the same team. But it didn't matter to us. You know, on their day they can win, and if you give them a sniff, they can beat any team. And we did not give them a sniff after halftime. We fucking took them to the cleaners, and we got the job done. And I could not be more happier. So enough from me. I'm just gonna have another sip of this, and then we're gonna go through some comments. Let's read them out. I can't wait to go through them because they're all gonna be positive. And yeah, it's amazing. I've had dreams of doing a review where it's like, imagine doing a review post grand final or post getting into the finals or post a finals win. You know, I'm like, when is that going to happen for Saints TV? When am I going to be able to do that? And tonight was that night. I can't believe that it's happening. So we get time to recover. We get another week off and we go at it again. And it's going to be an amazing time for us to be a St Kilda supporter, just to get behind the boys and to see what they can do in an actual final. But yeah, first now a sip, then comments. And by a sip, I mean spilling the champagne and having a pretty big gulp of it. Anyway, let's go through some of these comments. I'm going to scroll as high as I can. I don't know if I can get all the way to the top, guys, because there are a lot of comments. Let's go with... Who should we start off with? Jesus. Here we go. Luke Francis. Yeah, the saying is they tested my emotions all year, up and down, but in the end they pulled through. It's been a difficult year, but these boys have put a smile on my face, can't you, Sainers? Exactly right. It's been an up and down year. We've had some shit losses. We've had some massive highs. Brett Rattens has gone through everything and more, and he's come out the other side. So have a lot of the boys, a lot of the youngsters that haven't felt finals or gone through a big game like tonight have grown a little bit. The Ben Pattons, the Nick Caulfields, the Hunter Clarks, these sort of blokes that haven't played finals before, Ben Long, they go to the next level now. They've got that experience of playing a big game, albeit with no crowd. But by the way, speaking of no crowd, the Saints supporters that were there were so vocal. Massive claps to them. They were so loud. It sounded like a St Kilda, you know, a game at Marvel. There was no support for GWS. Even in the last 5 minutes, they were singing, "Oh, when the Saints go marching," they were singing the song, you know? And it's just so great to hear. That sort of support is going to be massive when we play finals. And, you know, every goal that was kicked, every tackle that was laid, the crowd was loud, and it was a St Kilda crowd. And that's so good to hear. Luke says, Crummers were great this week. Always better with Loney down there. I know, Butler was great. Loney was great. Kent, without kicking a goal, did his job. You know, the Crummers were great, but the Tors were equally as good. Marshall took some good marks. Could have kicked more goals. Max King took a few good marks. Could have kicked more goals. Kicked an important one at the end, but he could have kicked more. Battle with an amazing goal in the start of the second term or first term. He was huge. You know, Paddy Ryder kicked his goal everything worked, you know, so you can't pick a bad thing about this game. Hannah's was okay. That's from Peter. I thought Hannah's was better than okay. I thought he had over, 14 or 15 possessions. And every time he got the ball, he did something simple, but he did it cleanly and he did it fast. You know, there were some times where it looked like a risky kick, but he just made it look lackadaisical. He made it look easy going into the midfield. He just went for the risky kick, but because he could trust his foot skills, he did the job. And I could not be prouder of him. Loney's couple of goals on one leg were amazing. That's from Mitchell. Adam says the look on all the coaches' faces was gold. Yeah, I mean, looking at Rats at the end there, so proud. James says, Man of Steel, Saints MVP of the season. He's going to get close to another 3 votes tonight. You know, he's no doubt going to be up there in the Brownlow polling. He's got to be All-Australian. He's got to be top 5 in the Brownlow. He's the Man of Steel. He's our boy, and he's leading us into the finals. And God, he had a huge game tonight. He didn't have big disposal numbers, but he stood up. He kicked 2 goals. I think he probably had over 20 possessions and probably 6 or 7 tackles. I don't know what his stats were, but he did everything that we could have expected from him and hits the scoreboard. That's something that he has over other midfielders, is that he kicks goals. He's kicked over 10 goals this season. Hunter Clark was huge. That's from Josh. Stevens says, fantastic win. How important is Hanbury and Brad Hill going to be? I know, in a final especially. They've got big experience there, successful experience, so they're going to be able to guide the youngsters into these big games. Neil says, Skull the champagne champ. Mate, I want to take it easy. I want to go through some of the comments, but I'll have another sip with you if you have one. It's good champagne. Mighty Sainers, that's from David. Jake says, Steele and Butler surely locks for All-Australian this year. That would be great. Imagine sneaking 2 All-Australians in the same year, making finals, and a player finishing in the top 5 in the Brownlow, you know? We haven't had that since we were in grand finals. You know, we haven't had those sort of performances since we were, you know, going into seasons winning 18, 19 games a year. So that's huge. Everyone carried their weight tonight. That's from Oz. It's a great comment, Oz. Yeah, you look at the stats, and I don't know how they finished in the end because we're so dominant late, but, you know, midway through the third term, we were the better team by far, but all of our possession getters were low, which, on the surface looks like an issue, but when you looked at it, there were 3 or 4 GWS players that had a lot of the ball. The rest did nothing, but Saints were kind of scattered throughout. You know, I don't know why I'm doing a rainbow symbol, but they were kind of just evenly across. It was just across the board. You know, Sinclair had 10, Ross had 10, Brad Hill had 10, Caulfield had 8. Everyone had a fair share of the ball. It was a team performance, and I said that in my preview. I'm going to give myself credit here. I said that if we play as a team and we don't rely on individual performances, we will win. GWS relied on individual performances. They needed Kelly to do something. They needed Cameron to do something. Toby Green to do something. None of them did anything close to what they're capable of because we stopped them and they lost. They couldn't stop us because we were so even across the board. They take out Brad Hill, Jack Steele stands up. They take out Steele, Billing stands up. They take out Marshall, Ryder stands up. King out, Membry stands up. So everyone had a backup. The team just stood up for each other. They looked at each other in the eyes and said, I've got your back. If you're out of the game, I'll bring you into the game. And that's what I brought up yesterday in the preview, was that GWS aren't a team. They're not a collective that want to be together. They all are getting traded out. There's rumours circulating more than half the team on where they're going to be next season, you know? Our team is united. They want to play for Rats. They want to play for each other, and they want to do something special. And that shone through tonight. That's what got us over the line. We were too strong as a team, too united to lose. And our skills weren't amazing. You know, we made some mistakes tonight. We did some silly things, but because we kept fighting, we kept pushing, we kept wanting to do something with the ball, that was enough to overwhelm GWS and just break the damn wall at the end, and we just got the job done and killed them. That was a long answer to that question, by the way. Catherine says, how was Ryder's tap with his foot to Sinclair? That was elite. There were so many clever taps from Ryder tonight, so many clever taps in general, where the ball, you know, the player knew that he was going to get caught taking it, but he knew just to flick it on or to tap it or to do that, or even just along the deck with their foot. I think there was one point where it was potentially was it Rowan Marshall that smothered the ball with his foot, but it went so high and so far that it ended up being a genuine 25-meter kick to Billings on the wing, I think it was. You know, that sort of stuff was coming off because we were willing to just do anything to stop the ball from getting to GWS players, and it worked. Yeah, Farron just said, just ask the kid at halftime what the score was. He was amazing. That kid, I want to get him on the Saints. Anyone know who this kid was? He knows every score from this year. That sounds like me in 04 and 2009-10. I could memorize every result. I could memorize the fixtures, the stats, everything from those years. And he reminds me of me then, 10 years ago now. So if anyone knows him, tag him in this. I'd love to have him on the Saints TV podcast to have a chat. He's a star. And yeah, it's just great to see so many Saints supporters coming out now and commenting on the page and messaging me personally and just showing their excitement. It's amazing just to get this sort of reception on Saints TV. I can't wait for the first final. Lucas says, honestly, more relieved tonight than joy. Yeah, I know. It was a stressful week. You know, all week you're just thinking about what if this, what if that, what if we lose, what if we win? Mainly, what if we lose? You know, what if the season's over? What if I come into here tonight and say, hey guys, you know, season's over. Champagne's still in the fridge. But instead, we've got the champagne, we're celebrating. It's, you know, you've got to go with the flow. And I tried to just forget about the negatives and if we lose tonight. And I just kept thinking, we're going to win this. It's going to happen. You know, it's been too long. We're going to do the job. And evidently we did the job and you know, we're here celebrating and it's hard to believe. Jack Steele, 3 votes. That's from Georgie. Melbourne could get in. That's from Peter. Who gives a stuff about Melbourne? Honestly, you know, it doesn't matter. We're done. Our season is done. We just prepare for finals now. I love that I don't have to sit on the couch and watch other games that I don't care about, you know, and worry about the results to see how it affects us. You know, I can now actually put the remote down, not watch football. I'll watch the replay 3, 4, 5, 10 times until finals of our game, but I won't watch any other game because it doesn't matter. It's good knowing that we've locked our destiny. It was in our own hands and we trusted ourselves to do the right thing with it, and we didn't blow it. For once, St Kilda didn't choke on the big stage, and it's only going to get bigger against a Collingwood or a Bulldogs, 2 teams that have won, you know, premierships obviously more recently than us. But we've got nothing to lose now, so it's all guns blazing. Get Zach Jones back, and we just go for it again. Lewis is saying, "Where's the champagne, baby, mate?" Anyone asking where the champagne? It's right here. Shandon Vintage Brut 2015, beautiful champagne, courtesy of Tipple. I'm sure everyone else has got a drink. Comment if you've got a drink. Let me know what it is. Comment the champagne emoji and we'll do a nice little cheers. Josh is saying, oh my God, Hunter Clark should stay in the mid. Hunter Clark in midfield. Geez, that was good. Hunter Clark is a born midfielder. Tonight is the night where you can say he has made that transition from a halfback flanker that can get the easy ball to being an inside midfielder that can be the Pendlebury of our side, that can be clean in congestion. He can get the ball, slow down the game and get a hand out to someone running by. And, you know, the amount of times he did that tonight, whether it was his hands or he just kind of tapped it or kicked it to a player that was running by, he did, you know, he set us up so many times from the middle. And I love that, you know, we lost Zach Jones tonight, but he stood up there. Hanbury comes back in, and Jones in the first final is going to come back in. But you've got more rotation now with Hunter Clark, who's able to go there. And, you know, in a year or two, Nick Caulfield will be able to do that. He's bigger than Hunter Clark. He's stronger than Hunter Clark. And he's as good as a kick as anyone in our team right now. So I can't wait for these sort of players to be able to take those roles on. And then that means that players like Steele and Jones, they don't have to carry the responsibility. They can just do their thing, but know that other players have their backs. And that makes us a tougher team to beat. Lance says, I'm so proud right now. Man of Steel, it's from Lachlan. Shane says, you are more passionate than me, Jakey. I didn't think that was possible. Mate, I'm a pretty passionate supporter. I love my Sainers and I'm a very happy man right now. And I know that everyone out there watching is you know, very happy as well and beyond happy. It's going to be a long time until this smile gets wiped off my face. Chloe says, Saints put on a show tonight. Come on, boys. They did, didn't they? They put it on a show for the AFL world to realise that we are not a fucking joke and we are here to hurt some teams and to hopefully create crazy history and go far in the final series. McMahon says, fantastic job, guys. We now need to be in the grand final. Go Saints. McMahon, mate, you're thinking about the grand final already? You're jumping the gun there, but I love the confidence, you know. Imagine doing a Bulldogs of 2015 or whenever it was and going all the way from outside the top 4. That would be something special, you know. Rusty says, great game by Hunter Clark. Another midfield option. Get into it, Jakey. That's from Shane. Collingwood, Dogs, Melbourne. Those are the 3 teams we can face. I'll bring it on. We'll take them all on. It doesn't matter. West Coast was the one that we wanted to avoid, and we did. Trudy says, oh, Jakey, bless. I was in my 40s last finals. I know. It's been a long time coming for all of us, hasn't it, guys? You know? I was 18 years old. You know? I was 18 years old, and now we finally get there again. Let's hope we can stay there for a few years in a row. You know? We don't want this to be a one-off, and something tells me this isn't a one-off. This is a start of something special. And this sort of result means that if there's any players from other clubs that we want to poach, this result proves, geez, St Kilda are doing something special. They've made finals. You know, it depends on how far we go in finals, but this is the sort of stuff that draws big guns to clubs over other clubs like Carlton and Melbourne and Freo and these sort of guys that have money. People, other stars will want to come. Hopefully there's a few GWS players tonight that were versing us, looking at us, thinking, geez, I could play that team. You know, I'd love a Josh Kelly. I'd love a Zach Williams. You know, these sort of guys. Hopefully they are looking at us and thinking, they're a destination club. Craig says, good work, Jakey, boy. Lap it up, mate. Oh, I definitely will, Craig. Definitely will. Jared says, the champagne, love it. Go the Saints. Steele and Marshall, marry me. Damo says, Jack still makes opposition players panic while he's still getting up from his last tackle. It's crazy. He's a monster. You know, he's not a big guy. He doesn't look menacing, but he just does it with his actions on the field. And that isn't, it's just A grade. A grade, just class. You know, he oozes class now, Jack Steele. Skullet Bruiser, that's from Edward. Tears of Joy, you couldn't have wrote the script any better. That's from Luke. No, you couldn't have. The fact that I could stand and walk around the living room enjoying the win with 8 minutes to go, thinking, okay, what do I do with the review? What do I do with the champagne? The fact that I could do that and be comfortable knowing that we've locked in finals is amazing. You know, us as Saints fans, we know better than any other supporter base in the competition that we have to wait until the last minute to know that our team's won. But tonight, we knew 2 minutes into the last quarter that we got the job done. You know, the boys finished the job. They didn't wait. They didn't wait for someone else to do it. They all took the responsibility on themselves and said, I'm going to do something to make sure that the team wins. And when 22 blokes do that in a game, you know you're going to win. And 22 blokes did that tonight. Catherine says the next podcast is going to be awesome. Can't wait for the Saints TV podcast, guys, with Marshy and Joyce's views on everything. It's going to be such a good podcast. The most positive podcast of the season. I can't wait for it. Claire says, how good was having all the staff in the huddle for the song? Well deserved. Every person at the footy club, from administration to the players, to the trainers, to the coaches. This is for you guys. This is for you. You have worked hard all season. And no less in a season where it's been all about COVID. We're in lockdown. We're in Noosa. There's no crowds, no supporters. We've had to play interstate all season. And we've adapted better than most clubs. You know, it's easy to talk about how good Brisbane have been. They play to the Gabba every week. You know, Port Adelaide and Adelaide get to play in Adelaide every week. You know, we've had to adapt more than a lot of teams. Because firstly, we play a lot of games at Marvel. Secondly, we've never been good away from home. And now we've won a stretch of games this year, interstate, against good opposition, that can only grow the confidence. I cannot fathom how big it's going to be when COVID shit is gone and we are back at Marvel Stadium, guys, with a full stadium of supporters just cheering the boys on after all this shit, you know? We don't know what's going to happen in this final series, but you've got to be proud of the boys no matter what. And I can't wait to get back and actually socialise with you guys in person at games and to get back to games and do this from the car park in the car post-game at Marvel Stadium. It's going to be so much fun. But for now, it's remote, but we're in finals and it doesn't matter. Lewis says, go you Saints, I love these boys. Get the champagne going. Hashtag golden shower. Love you, Jakey. A lot of golden shower hashtags tonight, which is great. Olivia says, we may not make the grand final. Honestly, I don't think we will this year. But my God, this is a massive step in the right direction. So exciting to finally see this side working hard and reaping the rewards. Great comment there from Olivia. Matt Marshy, the emperor, the overall ruler of aisle 29. All the boys were special tonight. That's what he says. And I can't wait to hear your views on the podcast, mate. Can't wait to have a chat to you about it. Yeah, all the boys were special tonight. Everyone did something that they just haven't done all season. They just did that extra 10% that they haven't done in their careers, and that was enough tonight to smash the GWS Giants. Giants, can't even say their name. So many comments again, guys. Ratton only coach. Yeah, that's a great point, Tony. The commentators mentioned that out of the 5 new coaches this season, only Brett Ratton has taken his side to finals. That says everything about what we thought about Rats when he was at Hawthorn, when he was at assistant coach to Richo. We knew when he was announced coach that we were in good hands. You look at his record at Carlton. He made finals and he made big finals and they lost by under a goal in a couple of them, you know? And he was outed probably harshly because of Mick Malthouse coming along and that sort of shit. But we have got a special one here, guys. You know, he lost his son. He's gone through so much shit. But the transparency of him, you know, he shares these things. He opens up to the supporters. He opens up to the players, you know. He talks about his past experiences that weren't positive, and he shares that to the players to just create a strong connection. And you can feel that on-field, off-field, that sort of connection is you can't buy that. You know, not many coaches can do that. And we're very lucky to have Brett Ratton as our coach because he does that and he does more, you know. And having Jared Roughhead back tonight, no coincidence that we were great. Every time we've had a big win this year, Jared Roughhead has been on the bench and he's been controlling things on the bench, and Rats has been up in the box. So no surprise there that, you know, we're going to get Zach Jones back in a couple of weeks, but the fact that we're going to have Jared Roughhead there as well just makes us even stronger. Suck it up, Bruce, you tosser. Bruce McAvaney, I assume you're talking about Brett. Yeah, a lot of the commentators were jizzing over GWS tonight, weren't they? But it's good to shut them up now. Lucas says, Loney made me want to keep him from tonight's performance. Loney, God, he has had his haters for so long, his whole career. And late in that last quarter, he did some massive things that won us the game. That Ryder goal, his tackle, he's holding the ball, that was him, you know. And he got the free kick, or took the mark, sorry. He took the mark when Brad Hill kicked that goal, and then he got his goal at the end, you know. He set us up for 3 or 4 goals tonight. That's massive in a big game like tonight. Lawson says, to all those supporters in Queensland, well done. Could hear you guys loud and clear. They were so good, weren't they? Credit to the supporters. They were so loud from the TV. Lachlan says, Gear's playing a solid game tonight too. Hopefully that can shut up the haters. Adam says, next time we see Mumford, he'll be drinking with us in the bar. Cameron says, best thing about tonight's game, everyone played their role and we didn't need that select 1 or 2 star players to get us over the line. We played like a well-oiled machine. Great comment there, mate. That's exactly what I was thinking. Richard says, we just got into the final. We haven't won the grand final yet. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But in saying that, go Saners. So yeah, that's true. Fuck it. We're going to go hard, mate. We're going to go hard. We're going to cheers. We're going to have another sip. We're going to enjoy this. It's been 9 years. If you can't enjoy something after a 9-year drought, you can never enjoy something. So I'm not going to wait until the grand final to be happy. This is a huge step in the right direction and it is worth celebrating. Anyone that thinks this is an overreaction can get stuffed because this is the correct reaction, I think. Jacob says, we want to see the golden shower. Pete says, Hannes is a gun and will be huge in the finals, and Zach Jones is to come back in. Things are looking good. Congratulations, guys. That's from Mitchell. Trudy says, whoop, whoop. Peter says, if Bulldogs lose Melbourne, win, Melbourne is in. Good on Melbourne if they do that, but honestly, it's all about us. Who cares? Trent says Ruffy's back and we kick straight. No coincidence there. Trudy says love the Saints and you, Jakey. Thanks. Thanks, Trudy. Thanks for that. Leona says this is the greatest day of 2020 so far. Yeah, it's close to it, isn't it? It's really, really up there. Nathan says Clark is silky smooth. Enjoyed patting on Toby Green tonight. Special mention to Pato. He's had some big jobs this season. He's played on Eddie Betts. He's played on Charlie Cameron. He's played on Toby Green. He's played on some seriously good smalls, and he's done a good job on all of them. So he's that sort of player that no one talks about, but every week he's just going to get a little bit more confident in himself because he's taking on these superstars of the competition. Matt says, waited a while, but it feels so bloody good. Love the coverage all year, mate. Bring on the dogs or the pies. Thanks, mate. Thanks for everyone tonight watching and for the year. It's been... I honestly was worried, to be honest, when COVID struck and the season was shut down, we didn't know what the hell was going on. I was so worried about, what am I going to do with Saints TV? How is it going to work? And then we start the podcast, the season comes back, and everything, because of you guys, because of everyone watching and supporting the page, it's just made it the best year of all of the years. And I haven't been able to go to a game. I can't believe that out of all the years I've done Saints TV, the best year so far has been a year where we've been in lockdown. I can't go to a game and I can't see the boys in person. And it's crazy, but it's because of you guys. So thanks so much for watching. The Saints TV merch that I've got here, I don't know how many of you guys have purchased it, but from what I've seen, there's been a lot of purchases and I can't believe it. You guys make me happy and you make me want to get up every morning and do something with the page and to just keep pushing and do something special with this page. And hopefully one day we can do a review where we're talking about a fucking premiership and that's going to be the greatest day of my life. And I'm going to be sharing with it, with that moment with everyone and I can't wait for it. Hunter Clark for Vic Premier. That's from Matt. Jack Billings very, very quiet tonight. That's from Jake. First negative comment of the day. Billings did enough tonight. He did enough. Chris says, you can't underestimate the Hannah's on-field leadership and Ruffy on the bench with his calmness and positive attitude and leadership. No, you can't. That's huge. The biggest ins we've had for the year. Georgia says, shit, I want to go to the footy in real life so bad. I think we all do, Georgia. Collins is such a great game when you can't pick just one Sainter of the round. Yeah, honestly, in the podcast, it's going to be hard to pick a Sainter, a Sinner, and a Binner. It's going to be just Sainter, the club. That's going to be my pick already. Lee says, I'm 18 now and I'm getting on the beers with you, Jakey. Mate, as long as you're 18, it's all good. Anyone underage drinking, we don't condone that at Saints TV, so, get on the sparkling water instead. Turned 18 on Wednesday and I'm on the beers with you, Jake. That's from Lee. Oh, this is amazing. This is the best live ever. Who's down for streaking down at Moorabbin? That's from Timothy. Take it easy. That's from Elaine. I'm never taking it easy, Elaine. It's going to go hard all night. Trudy says, oh my God, we are playing finals. You know what, guys? I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you guys go because we all deserve to just enjoy the night and watch the replay and just soak it in. I'm going to share a couple of these with the missus and we're going to watch the highlights and soak in what has been just a ridiculously amazing, perfect night of football and for the St Kilda Football Club, for the supporters and I can't be more happy. You guys can't be more happy. This stuff is launched and everything is just working out. We've gone through so much shit as St Kilda supporters. If we have to wait 9 years to enjoy this, then, well, we've handled it better than any other supporter base could. And we've come out the other side and we're better for it. We're stronger for it. And now we can just go into the next week, just knowing that we have a week off, we can recover. And then we can get into the elimination final against Collingwood, Bulldogs, maybe Melbourne. I don't even know. I'm losing my voice. I was cheering so hard, clapping so hard. It's going to be great. Caleb, get your girlfriend on the live. Yeah, no, she's outside. She's having a bit of fun. I'm not going to do that to her. She'll, I'll get into a bit of trouble if I just do that. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I know this wasn't like a tactical analysis and we didn't break down everything that happened in the game. This is sheer emotion. The result is the most important thing. The mechanics of it, we'll talk about in the podcast and you can tune into that. This is just me having a bit of fun and being so happy because these moments don't happen very often for a St Kilda supporter. And when they do, you need to acknowledge it, you need to take it in and you need to make the fucking most of it. And the boys did that tonight. They took it, they made the most of it, and now they get to deserve a week off to play finals the week after. And we get to just enjoy a week off where we know that our destiny is done. We have made finals for the first time in 9 years, beating GWS by over 50 points. And I'm going to have a few more of these and it's going to be a great night. So thanks again for watching, guys. I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. We're up to nearly 2,000 subscribers. Saints TV merch is launched. Go for it. Jack Steele merch is going to be out hopefully in the next week or two. These are all in stock. So there's the Gresh Prince, Max King, Dan Butler Silver Service over there. And then you've got the Saints TV one here, which is available as well. So if you want to go for that, go for it. If not, no big deal. Not fussed. I'm just loving tonight and I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. That's for sure. So thanks again for watching, guys. The next preview, next time I get to talk to you face to face, it's going to be in a week and a half and we don't know who we're playing. And that's great. That's exactly what we want. So I'll see you then, guys. But, until then, we'll hopefully do a Saints TV podcast tomorrow or Sunday. We'll try and do it as early as we can so you can enjoy it, soak it in, and just fucking watch the replay 10 to 20 times and just be happy every single day knowing that St Kilda is playing finals in 2020. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Go, you mighty Sainers. And I'll end it on this. Game over. Saints in finals. Thanks, guys. Chat soon.